आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ। एक नई दुनिया की आवाज, विज्ञान की आवाज, की आवाज।
A big hello to all our listeners. Welcome to an enriching podcast series, Vigyan Ki Awaaz. This podcast series focuses on STEM popularization, science, technology, engineering, mathematics and medicine. An initiative to promote STEM, science, technology, engineering, medicine and mathematics. Taking ahead the journey, we are bringing to you yet another enriching conversation with another eminent guest in the field of science and technology.
I remember when I joined the job as a scientist in 1996, the vegetable production was hardly 75 to 80 million ton. Now it is more than 300 tons. So one of the area we have been working is how to develop integrated disease management approaches, and of course primarily targeting the viral pathogens.
So if you talk about the ranking of the country, what is India's rank in this particular field of science?
So if you look into publication point of view, we are close to China, but second position right now. And India have been doing very well in plant virology over, as I say, last couple of decades. So our ranking is very close to China and number 2. But in terms of, there are a lot of scope of improvement to bring quality of research and infrastructure in virology overall in the country.
Wonderful. I think that's quite an achievement, and we are almost there, and the country has been putting the head held high in this field, and I'm sure there's a long way to go. And if we talk about future, because science has always been very future seeking, so what is the future of the country, if we may ask you, in this particular field?
Yeah, I see that there are a lot of young enthusiast researchers have joined different setup from DBT institutes, ICR institutes, universities, private organizations. So together they can form a network. And in fact, I must say that there's a proposal ongoing DBT to form a network of people to work on pathogenomics of plant viruses, where almost 100 institutions across the country, they can handle together and develop a common goal for creating tolerance in plant, identifying the viruses which are more dominant in nature, and also look for some preventive measures. Because as you know, viruses are very difficult to remove once the infection is taken place in the plant system. So these are different approaches can be taken forward, and country has a very bright future to carry such things.
Sir, I'm sure over the period of time you have a lot of success stories. Maybe it's like a book of success in your life. Why don't you share a few of your success stories in your own science journey?
So, see, I must start with a quote. Science is a fact, if you like or do not like. So, we started our journey long back. Very first challenge I took when I joined as a researcher in vegetable research to identify the resistant sources. So I used to travel to different places and also taking lot of data from the field to identify the exactly which plant is resistant to viral infection. Those lines have been identified, handed over to the breeders and plant breeders, more specifically those who are working in the vegetable field, and they have taken them further, as a result of which several varieties are right now released in the country and are ruling the nation, which has helped not only in reducing the losses of the viruses causing in this crop, but also ensuring farmers' income, which is one of the vision of our current government.
Wonderful. So why don't you share a few more options and avenues where young generation can get associated with INSA and where they can seek a bright future in the field of science?
Yeah. So INSA has different options. I'm sure the young generations can take those options. Like they have INSA associate fellows, INSA young associate fellows, and other activities. INSA for populations of science have been primarily working very hard in association with other Indian science academies. But in this particular case, I must take that INSA identifies young fellows and young associates at a very early age and groom them with the help of the mentors of senior mentors in the area, and so that they can really do well. So in my opinion, INSA provides a great platform to researchers from early age, even senior researchers throughout their journey and shape their future day to day.
How can one become INSA fellow? What is the procedure?
First and foremost, is criteria is to publish, to do good quality research, publish in quality journals, and so once they publish in quality journals, then primarily has to be identified by the peers in the country or abroad, and then they can be nominated. Then the due process which the academy follows, by which they can be identified as a INSA fellows. But right now, with the current council and the president, they have made a very interesting and new way of identifying INSA associate fellows and INSA young associate fellows, which have been another way the young people can bring back to the science team. They get encouraged to interact with the senior scientists, and also in the future they can be groomed towards the fellowship, of course, by following the all rules and regulations of that.
Wonderful. So what message would you like to give it to the new generation, that they have more passion for the field of science and they can take up science as a field of career for themselves?
Yeah, I always say that science is a fact, you like or do not like it. We all have seen how COVID has helped science reaching every household. We all know about the vaccine. We all know about the vaccine-induced immunity. We all know about the natural immunity. So, with keeping in this mind, we must engage the young researchers and scientists in the area that they should take up science at an early age, and to develop something which has more translation value, entrepreneurship. In this regard, I must applaud the recent government initiatives in the form of formation of Anusandhan National Research Foundation, NRF, which is going to change the research landscape of the country. We have already seen a lot of new innovative ideas coming up in NRF, which in terms of identifying the potential universities of excellence, in terms of through NRF peer program. They are also going to launch different other programs in the future, but I am sure that young scientists, in addition with the mentor mode, will be able to solve some of the old problems which are of course in the not only overall in virology but overall in science.
Wonderful. Last but not the least, so what is your view about this podcast series, Vigyan Ki Awaaz? We have been trying to popularize science, and this is just one step towards it.
So, Vigyan Ki Awaaz has been a very resourceful tool to reach the masses, and as I see that there are more than 200 podcasts have been already been made, and which is very unique and interesting. Some of them really I enjoyed, although I should go through all of them once again. But what I message I am to give that the effort which has been taken by the government in Vigyan Ki Awaaz, which also highlights our indigenous knowledge system which we have in our country, the kind of research we do in our country, that the world should know. India is a power. India has a power to do capacity build up in any field, anytime, to carrying cutting edge research and of course taking towards translation and improvement.
Wonderful. It was a great pleasure conversing with you and knowing more about the field of science. Our good wishes for your future journey, and I'm really sure that the next time when we meet, our listeners will get to listen to one of their idols. Thank you for being an inspiration to the country, sir, and we are extremely proud to have you in Vigyan Ki Awaaz today.
Thank you.
So dear listeners, we had Supriya CHAKRABORTY today at Vigyan Ki Awaaz, and sir is a very proud fellow at INSA, Indian National Science Academy. So sir, if you have more success stories in your science journey, why don't you share it?
So actually, as I say, we have looked into identify the viruses because it's very important to identify the viruses as they are not seen under normal microscope, and also they are not seen under the way bacterial disease or viral or the fungal pathogen can be identified. In this case, we identify the viruses by using some nucleic acid probes, detection probes. We have developed a lot number of degenerate primers which can be used for more specifically for Gemini virus infections, and also from their components. So this has been done to identify from our lab. We have more than 200 different viral sequences we have obtained, and they have been identified to play how the evolutionary dynamics is being changed over a period of time. Secondly, another identify area we have made success is that how a virus can cause disease. We've identified the way viral proteins do function, how do replicate in the cell, how do they really play a role in the stimulation of transcriptions, and also how, most importantly, viruses being an obligated pathogen, how they cause disease and how they block the chloroplast mediated damages. First and foremost, we must remember that finally creating a healthy plant is the aim. Keeping in mind, we have already developed a techniques through RNA interference, and also by plant breeding approaches by which the plants have been made tolerant to Gemini virus infection. In the future, genome editing techniques is going to play a pivotal role, which we have been using very successfully, and I am sure in the long run we'll be able to share some more successes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. This is one such interaction where we are trying to bring out how many scientists, how many science passionates are contributing to the country and keeping the flag held high with the colors of science. The flag of the country is really being colorful when we add colors of passion, when we add colors of science passion to this. This is one such example. We take a short break here, and until and up to we meet with you in the next episode. Please take care of yourself and stay glued to Vigyan Ki Awaaz. Thank you so much. Dear listeners, we take a break at this enriching conversation. Catch more insightful discussions about science and the world of science. In the next episode, we shall bring to you more interesting discussions, his colorful contributions in the field of science, and his passion for the field. Until and up to we meet in the next episode, please take care of yourself, stay healthy, and keep listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz. Vigyan Ki Awaaz, a podcast series to popularize STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medicine.
आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ। एक नई दुनिया की आवाज़